SD Gundam Force. You know it had to happen. You know I had to make a video talking more about these. I want to make a video talking about the entire line at some point, and like a very comprehensive look, maybe talking more about the show. I've only seen a couple episodes of the show in recent years, and it is something. I also played a little bit of the SD Gundam Force Showdown game. I had that growing up, and I started revisiting that game, and I quickly fell out of it because I don't have the time to really play games right now. Maybe someday when my life calms down, I'll boot up my PS2, start playing it again, and we'll see. I mean, it didn't seem to be too bad of a game, but you know, it's SD Gundam Force we're talking about. But even though the show was pretty weird and the toys reflected that in some ways, the action figures were really cool. They were very, very cool. This is Captain Gundam in like his hyper mode. This would probably be my absolute favorite, but I'm showing him first because, again, I'm not really talking about them in any particular order. Look at his eyes. Look at his head. Look at him, he just looks so great. I love SD Gundam Force. They're not super articulated figures. They can articulate well enough. But, man, I love me some SD Gundam Force. He won't even hold his shield anymore. But yeah, I mean, look at him. He's gold. I love it. But I want to talk about my top 10 favorite figures. About half of these were ones that I've bought in more recent years. But the other half are pretty much ones from my childhood. And that is exciting. So let's kick it off. Of course, number 10 will just, even though he'd probably be more like number 1, I like the hyper mode Captain Gundam. I absolutely love him. What else can I say? Next up, let's get away from the Gundams and talk about another childhood favorite, Destroyer Dom. Loved this guy growing up. Still have most of his weapons. Unfortunately, he's got dust all in him. I tried dusting these guys before the video, but they're on a bottom shelf and they can get really dusty. Unfortunately, I did break mine. I think one of these thrusters is re-glued. I think that one you can see. That one broke off and I had to re-glue it, so I got to be really careful. But, really cool figure. I don't think his light works anymore, and I don't think there's a way to replace the battery, unfortunately. But yeah, Destroyer Dom. Super bulked up Dom with tons of awesome weapons. Super cool look. This figure is one of the reasons why I love Doms as a mobile suit design. He's got tons of little storm Faust, and he's so dusty. I'm so sorry. Look at that. Oh no! He's so dusty. I didn't know he was this dusty. I made an attempt to dust him off before the video. And also they're on a bottom shelf, and they get cat hair on them too. So a lot of what you're going to see is cat hair. So yeah, I'm going to try to get them a little more nicely dusted after this video. I'm so sorry, I tried. But yeah, Destroyer Dom, he's great. Not very playable with all this stuff he's got on him, but I always loved him. But you can't have Destroyer Dom without one that I bought more recently, Grappler Goof. This is a toy, yet again, he's got hair all over him. This is a toy that I wanted really bad as a kid and never got. So, of course, I bought it as an adult because I needed it in my life because I'm a man-child. Yeah, he's light blue, and he looks like a Zaku, and he's got spikes on him. That's what I loved about him as a kid. Honestly, one of the better characters in the show from what I've seen. He's still annoying, yes, but his voice actor isn't like super annoying, and he's kind of cool. He's probably my favorite of the evil trio. Love this figure, though. He has more accessories than what you're seeing here. He's kind of like a souped-up Goof custom, too, which is really sweet. So, yep, there's Grappler Goof, and you're going to find that these guys are going to take up a lot of space really quick. That's why they're on a bottom shelf, because they just take up so much space, and they just need to be crammed on the shelf. But we can't have them without Zappzaku. And this is another one that I wanted really bad as a kid, and I bought along with Grappler Goof. Unfortunately, the one I got it new in the package, but his arms were super loose right out the gate. But yeah, he's got his big old cannon. He's even got another handle to hold it. He's got his machine guns. He actually came with 2 of these. And mine, the eye still works. Barely, but look at that. It still works. I love that. I hope there's a way I can maybe replace the batteries someday, but I doubt that's going to happen. They will die someday, so I'm going to make this video, and I'm not going to say anything just so I can enjoy this light when it dies someday. Okay, that's good. Just imagine me in about 5-10 years watching that part of the video and going, "Aw." So yeah, really cool figure. I love the look of him. He's a badass Zappzaku guy, and he's all crazy in the show. He's like, "I'm Zappzaku." Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that's him. And then that's the evil trio. But you can't have the evil trio. I think they're called like the Dark Axis. I think it's their name. But you can't have them without their henchmen, the Zakos. Yes, they're not Zakus, they're Zakos. Zako. I had 2 of this figure growing up. 2 of it. I got one for Christmas, I believe, and I got the other at a Dollar General. And they're both still complete. They're a little worn out because I played with them a lot. They have this really interesting action feature where you press down on them and their armor plates pop off. It's almost like they got blown up because they look like that in the show sometimes after they get defeated or whatever. Yeah, you just pop them back together. This was the closest thing I had to Zaku's growing up as a kid. So I definitely cherished these figures because I always wanted Zaku's growing up, but all I could really settle with was Zakos. So yeah, they're cute little Zaku SD guys that don't exactly look like Zaku's. But look at him. Look at him next to the guys. And I have 2 of them too, so they look so cool. I love them. All right. Most of what's left in this list is Gundams because I had to just talk about all of them at once. Let's get away from the show for a minute and talk about the line branching out into other Gundam series. Like this series, G Gundam. I had a little bit of a brain fart. I love G Gundam. Love it. And I love that they made figures of it. I'm trying to get his stuff all back in. And this figure is really cool. I had to get this one. I actually had Burning Gundam growing up. But this one I had to get because he's got that super cool feature where he can... I stuffed his extra hand in there. That's so funny. I forgot I did that. I'm trying to remember how to activate it. I literally forgot how to activate him. I genuinely can't find it. I don't know what to do to activate him. Oh, there we go. I guess you push his head crest up. Oh my gosh, of course I remember right when I say I don't anymore. Hey, push that up. There you go. That's so cool. I love it. Yeah, it's Shining Gundam. Come on, who doesn't love Domon Kashu? Come on, that's... Yes. Alrighty, next up, let's talk about another Gundam. Let's talk about Gundam Wing this time. This guy's really dirty because he was a childhood favorite. This is Deathscythe H. You can't say the bad word because it's a kid's toy. They seriously marketed him as Deathscythe H. They didn't want to call him Deathscythe Hell because obvious reasons. Does this thingy still light up? I don't think so. Yeah, he's got his scythe, obviously. He's really dirty and kind of grimy because we've had him ever since we were kids, and I've not given him a wash since. He's got the original 2000s grime. But yeah, he just looks so cool. It's a Deathscythe Hell. Come on. It's the only figure I have of Deathscythe Hell right now. And yes, I love it. We always kind of, because we weren't very familiar with the story, we always considered Deathscythe Hell to be the opposite. To be the bad guy in comparison to the Wing Zero Custom, the angel, the good guy. That's always kind of how we played it as kids, even though technically Epion's more of the opposite, which we also did have Epion, and I still have Epion. He came close to making the list, but he did not. But yes, I do have the... he's also very dirty. This was probably my favorite figure as a kid, Wing Zero Custom. This figure is the reason why it's my favorite Gundam mobile suit. His light also still works. Just barely. Aw. I'm going to miss that someday. But yeah, he can close up his wings. I at least have one of his rifles. I have one of them. I don't know where the other is. Maybe one day I'll unearth it. But because I know I got this guy new in the box when it came out. I probably got it like Toys R Us or something. But yeah, I've got one of his rifles. Maybe the other will show up someday. Maybe it won't. You can see how some of the softer plastic is discoloring from like just dirtiness or whatever. These guys are so old. These were our childhood Gundam toys. But man, I love them. So that's him. I mean, you can already see how much space they're taking up. All right, let's take a break from Gundam Wing to talk more about Gundam Wing. But not exactly Gundam Wing. This is the Knight of Storm. This is the SD Gundam Force version of the Mercurius. Or actually the V8. This is the V8. My brother had the Mercurius growing up, and I had the V8. Now I have them both because my brother is not nearly into Gundam as much as I am. But yeah, he had the red, I had the blue, and we loved these guys. And I still love them, and I'm so happy I actually have 1144, Mercurius, and V8 to go with my more proper Gundam collection. But still, look at this. These figures look so cool. I love the windmills that can actually spin. I love the visor that goes up and down, and that metallic green paint. Oof. Yes, please. I love it. This guy is awesome. I definitely need to clean him up a little bit. I need to just wash a lot of these guys in soap and water. They'll look good as new. Because they're just... they've been neglected throughout the years. They spent many years in storage. They've only been on display now for maybe a couple years. They were probably in storage for nearly a decade. So yeah, they've kind of have that storage griminess too that I haven't really washed out just yet. But yeah, love the V8. That might be one of my absolute favorites. But I wanted to show this one last because this is a recent buy. I bought this guy new for the collection. Oh wait, never mind. Wait, hold up. I guess I didn't realize it. I actually do have both of his rifles. Wow. I thought I was missing one for the longest time, but no. I guess I found the other one at some point. So yeah, he actually has both of his Buster rifles. That's sweet! I can't believe I didn't notice that just laying on the desk. But yes, I bought this guy in more recent years because I love the new Gundam. And I wanted to buy this. It came with all of his extra armor too. It seriously did. I just had enough shelf space for this, but still, it's the new Gundam. One thing, I really want to show this off. I love how they did the eyes for the SD Gundam Force figure line. They're just so nice and metallic green. Like the metallic colors for the eyes are so gorgeous for all of the non-SD Gundam Force Gundams. They look so beautiful. And the new Gundam, I love the tri-stripe for the mouth thing right there. The new Gundam is just one of the coolest Gundam designs by far. And I love having it in SD figure form. I have the High New Gundam in SD model form. Because I do have a handful of SD Gundam model kits. But when it comes to SD Gundam, man, I prefer the figures. I like them being figures. I definitely want to get into this line more. I want to pretty much get them all. I genuinely do. I want to get the GPO2 because I have the GPO1 from when I was a kid. I want to get definitely the RX-78-2 with the G-Armor. That's an expensive set, but I hope I can find it for under $100 one day. I want to get the Tall Geese that goes with the Mercurius and V8. There's so many cool ones that I really want to get someday. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they will make their way into my collection someday. But yeah, there we go. These are my top 10 favorite SD Gundam Force action figures. Very kind of obscure line. It's more of a domestic line. These figures did see Japanese release. However, I do feel like this is one of those domestic early 2000s lines. It's very underrepresented in the collector market now. There's not a lot of these out on eBay. There's not a lot of these in collector stores. This is definitely one of those lines like the original Yu-Gi-Oh line, you know, original Mattel Avatar line, where Last Airbender, not the movie, where you just kind of don't see them around because they're definitely more aimed at kids. Kids probably got their hands on them the most, and collectors probably overlooked them, and most of them are probably in toy boxes in grandma's basement or rotting in a flea market bin or just in the garbage. But yeah, I love this line, and I wanted to make a video talking about them. There we go, guys. My top 10 favorite SD Gundam Force action figures. Have a good one.